Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Lost and Found, The Missing. I'm your host, Sarah Janik, Psychic Medium. Yes, I connect to those on the other side, and I've had a pull towards those that have gone missing, hoping to cover some of these cases for you, not only because of my own connection to them, but to help raise awareness around the issue. The more people know about these cases, the higher the likelihood that someone may recognize a missing person, leading to their safe return. Public attention can generate tips and leads that law enforcement might not have access to otherwise. Sometimes a seemingly insignificant detail shared by the public can break a case wide open. It also puts a human face to a statistic. It reminds us that each missing person is an individual with a story, loved ones, and a right to be found. Discussing missing persons cases is not just about information sharing. It's about the leveraging collective efforts to increase the chances of finding missing individuals, supporting their families, and making communities safer. It can have an impact. Today we're diving into another case that is also close to home, the Chance Englebert case. When my husband was on a nursing travel assignment to Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Gering, Nebraska is connected to Scottsbluff and together have a population of just 8,600. I felt drawn to this case because I'm not only a medium and sometimes connect to those on the other side. This case just drew me in, and I find it really hard to understand why things cannot be pulled together to help get some closure in this missing persons case. I'm going to try to do my best to state things from an outsider's perspective, but I feel things have gone on here that have done Chance and his family a bit of an injustice. Keep in mind, this is allegedly what happened. This case has yet to be solved. Chance Englebert was 25 years old when he went missing on July 6th of 2019. He is 5 feet 9 inches tall with light brown hair and hazel eyes. He was last seen wearing a short-sleeved button-down shirt, jeans, an NRCA buckle, rubber boots, and a white trucker hat. Chase resided in the small town of Moorcroft, Wyoming, but was actually on vacation to his wife's family's hometown in Gering, Nebraska when he went missing. Chance grew up in Burdock, South Dakota on his family's ranch with his parents Don and Everett and 2 brothers. He was a cowboy at heart and an avid bull rider, winning several awards and a scholarship to Laramie County Community College in Cheyenne, Wyoming. He also fell in love with demolition derby, combining his love for racing and fixing up old cars to demolish. He got a degree in welding and diesel mechanics and continued his championship bull riding.
Watched that bull go last night, and he's just a sweetheart. I was really wanting to draw him, and then today he kind of came out there, and he's a little trickier to ride. He kind of went out there across there. They wanted to sit me back, but I just cowboyed it out and made the whistle. So
feel pretty good to get that buckle, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. First one from college. So
let's talk about that.
Chance met a girl named Bailey Bewley online. The pair hit it off, and it wasn't long at all before Chance found himself driving to Gering, Nebraska to meet her in October of 2017. Just 1 year after dating, in October of 2018, they decided to tie the knot. Bailey reported having a great relationship with her husband, but Chance's friends and family report that the short relationship was full of ups and downs, including Bailey being dishonest about her age and frequently bringing up accusations of Chance cheating. His mom and best friend Matt reported that there was a big falling out of how Bailey was upset that Chance's family even attended their wedding. It sounded like Chance was quite close with his mom, so maybe this is one of those cases where there might be a little envy back and forth between his young wife Bailey, who was only 20 at the time that he went missing, and the mom, because each person is wanting more of Chance. Chance's mom even reported offering to pay for couples counseling for Chance and Bailey to help them figure things out, also saying that Bailey wasn't a big fan of how much they talked. Chance and his mom. To be fair, we all know young love and how it can be difficult at times. You're trying to figure everything out with who you are as a person, and then you add in relationships, and sometimes things get complicated. Bailey and his friends said Chance could also have a bit of a temper at times. Bailey also said she remembered the day she told Chance that she was pregnant and that he was over the hills excited to be a dad. He even started working overtime to buy a home for their new family. So just 7 months after they wed, they have a son in May of 2019. He was reportedly chomping at the bit for his son to get a bit older so he could show him the ways of demolition derby and rodeoing. Chance was reportedly a hard worker. He had been working at Black Jewel Coal Mine in Gillette, Wyoming, and was one of 580 to be laid off in the summer of 2019, just 1 month after his son was born. He quickly got another job at a propane company that he was supposed to start on Monday, July 9th. They found a gap where they would be free for the July 4th holiday, and after making changes in plans from going to visit his family on a trip with his best friend Matt to South Dakota, they decide to go and visit Bailey's family in Gering, Nebraska. They pack up their 3-month-old son and take the 220-mile trip. On July 6th, Chance's brother-in-law, Bailey's father, and Chance decide to go golfing. They were drinking and playing golf, and it sounded like they were having a great time. Bailey reported talking to Chance and said that he was in a great mood. She takes their son and decides to go and visit them at the golf course and is getting out of the car. Chance walks up and says, "Get the bleep back in the car. We're leaving." Chance said his brother-in-law made a comment about him getting laid off and getting a lower paid job at the propane company, comparing it to making minimum wage. This upset Chance and made him want to leave the golf course. Bailey insists that Chance took the comment the wrong way and that her brother-in-law meant it in a different way than he took it. Bailey reports there was no argument going on in the car on the 20-minute drive back to her grandparents' house. She wanted to go back to her grandparents' house, but apparently Chance makes it known that he's ready to go home to their house in Moorcroft, Wyoming. This is where things really start to feel off in this case for me. Like I said, I want to report all of the information presented in this case, but I want to talk about things that seem off as well. I find it hard to believe with how their relationship was. They have a 20-minute drive back to her grandparents' house, and the conversation with him wanting to go home and being upset about the comment that was made about his job, that the conversation is just upbeat and happy. I personally feel like there was some arguing and other things that happened here. She reports that she took her son into the house, handed him to her grandma, and came back out. She saw Chance walking down the road, but she wasn't worried about him because apparently this was something that he just did at times to cool off. This was the last time that anyone reported seeing Chance Englebert in person alive. He left her grandparents' house around 7:30 p.m. walking. At 7:45, Chance calls his best friend Matt Miller, asking for him to come and please pick him up. He wants to go home to Moorcroft and doesn't have a ride. Chance tells his friend that he's walking north, heading towards Torrington, Wyoming, in the direction heading home. After hanging up, Matt then calls Chance's mom, Dawn, telling her everything that happened and asks that they try and help find him a ride. At 7:46, he talks to Bailey and tells her he's walking south towards Kimball and hangs up the opposite direction. So Chance's mom is now aware of the disagreement because of Matt's friend and him sharing the situation about the ride with him. So she actually texts Bailey, his wife, and says, "Hey, please keep me updated. Make sure to let me know that Chance is okay." At 7:49 p.m., he's seen walking past Domino's on 10th Ave and Stable Club Road towards Scotts Bluff. Some people say he looks to be under the influence here. Still at this point, some say it's just that he's looking at his cell phone, either texting or following a map, making a sharp left turn, and just changing direction that makes his footing seem off. At 7:51, he's caught on camera walking past Terrytown Boulevard in Terrytown, and this was the last known sighting of Chance on any video footage. At 8:46 p.m., this was the last time any texts were read from Chance's cell phone. Bailey texts Chance's mom saying they're not going to go out looking for Chance anymore because a big thunderstorm is coming in. They're going to hold off and let the weather pass. At 9 p.m., his phone pinged to the Riverview Golf Club area just south of a truck stop, but police confirmed that the arc is 2 miles wide, so really he could be anywhere in this 2-mile radius. At 9:08 p.m., he sends a cryptic text to his aunt's phone containing a straight-faced emoji with random letters that didn't make any sense. She quickly texts him back saying, "You're what?" And Chance was never heard from again. His mom is insistent that she doesn't even believe this text came from Chance, as he has never used an emoji anytime they've texted. Especially with emoji being a bored face emoji, I'm thinking it's safe to say it was a pocket text or wasn't actually coming from Chance himself. Around this time, the big thunderstorm rolls in and was as bad as they expected. Bailey reports that she wasn't worried about him, though, because he was a grown man. She thought he would be fine and take shelter somewhere. This also feels off to me. If a big storm is coming in, don't you worry more about your loved one, especially if you're not completely sure where they are, even if you're upset. I mean, it was a really big thunderstorm that was due to come in. It wasn't something that would just pass by in 30 minutes. There was massive rain, massive wind. At 9:15 p.m., his phone is shut off. Keep in mind that from where Chance went walking to this truck stop area, it shouldn't have taken more than an hour to cover. And I can confirm this. The Gering, Terrytown, Scottsbluff area is quite small. Being able to see the bluffs, you know which direction you're headed in at all times. It's like living by the mountains. You know which direction is west. All family, Chance's family and Bailey's, all insisted that he would not just up and leave his family. He was excited about starting this new job the next week. He had a new baby and overall had a happy life despite this argument. The following morning on July 7th, Bailey reports Chance missing. This initiated 16 agencies, including drone searches, scent dogs, and the community coming together searching their own properties, covering 2,000 acres of land with no findings of Chance. The families pull together and all begin looking for Chance.
Yes, I'm Dawn Englebert. I'm Chance's mom. My husband Everett. Our boy Miles. You know Bailey.
Bailey and Banks.
Scott. We just ask anybody to send any information. Somebody has to see something and know something. This just isn't Chance. He's not like this. He definitely would have went for a walk for a few hours to clear his mind, but he would have been home. He would have been with his son.
He's a pretty good old kid. He wouldn't have been gone this way, gone this long from his baby boy.
He's a family man. He loves his.
I also want to add that on July 8th, while at the police department, Bailey makes a statement that the only way Chance is coming home is in a body bag and actually asks for a death certificate for Chance just 2 days after he has gone missing. The police look at her, say, "This is not something that we handle, and we're still considering Chance a missing person at this time." It's only been 48 hours. It takes, I think, something like 7 years to classify somebody as officially deceased after they go missing in the state of Nebraska. So this strikes me as odd. 2 days later, I know that I've connected with a lot of people that have family members that have gone missing. And I can tell you it takes a lot longer than just 2 days for somebody to really give up the hope, the searching, the wondering, the coming to the realization that their loved one is not coming back. So this feels really off to me. At this point in time, no further transactions are made to his bank account. Obviously, his cell phone shut off. There is no trace of Chance to be found from this point on. I also want to mention that people have brought up the fact that the brother-in-law that he got into a little disagreement with at the golf course left for work very early the next day. He was a trucker, left, was not around for questioning or examination or anything like this. Also feels a little odd to me. If your brother-in-law goes missing, even if you have a disagreement, are you able to get over this? And the thoughts that maybe were worried, I don't know, maybe he was so upset that he was frustrated, didn't want to worry about Chance. Maybe they didn't really like each other too much. I'm not quite sure. All I know is that he leaves town and is not able to be questioned or anything like this for a couple of days, allegedly. This is what has been reported. I just think in a missing persons case like this, to not be able to be questioned as a main counterpart in the situation and see if there's anything off with him or that could be missing information here, it's very important. In missing persons cases, time is of the essence. We know this. So unfortunately, after Chance's disappearance, his wife, Bailey, their son and family are no longer in contact with Chance's parents, brothers, or friends at all. The two families have gone their separate ways, and Chance's family has zero contact with their grandson that they are actually really wanting. Since it has been 4 years since Chance's disappearance, many people have given tips to the local police department, but they have been pretty clear that they feel they've limited resources and hours to donate, so it doesn't seem that much more investigations are really happening around the case because they feel they have exhausted so many of their resources. I want to talk about this case for a second because there are two main things here that people feel may have happened, and I kind of want to share my thoughts and talk about it. So the first is that Chance got caught up in the thunderstorm and rainstorm and may have been swept away in a river somehow. However, in the days following the disappearance, they drained canals and heavily focused on the water areas with these cadaver dogs and have found nothing. His family also insists, with him growing up in South Dakota, that he was used to rough weather and had outdoor skills and smarts to avoid rainy weather conditions, and they just don't buy this story. So the second is that Bailey's family or a stranger was actually involved. There was some kind of foul play. His family state that there is no way he could have or would have hitchhiked with somebody that he didn't know. Some also speculate that the town is quite small and everyone knows everyone. People make friends with all types of people, and this sometimes carries precedence. Sad but true. Some also say they don't want to continue the talk because of the fear that it has created in their small town, which is considered safe. And so it's just not being dealt with because people are worried that it's going to create more fear or anxiety for people within the town. So they want to stay out of the news. There's so much speculation here. I very strongly agree with the family and feel that there is definitely foul play involved here. Prior to really researching the case, I Googled and read a couple of paragraphs of information on the story, very basic. So I know that Chance has gone missing. He was on vacation with his wife. There was a disagreement at the golf course, and a comment was made. I knew that much. I feel things were off at the golf course. Yes, Chance was upset. Based on the directions of the video Chance is actually walking in, we know he was heading in the direction of Torrington. We know Chance is walking towards a destination here. He seems to be upset, even though Bailey describes the words as being misunderstanding. She also states that they were fine driving in the truck back to her grandparents' house. But his behavior here and him hanging up on Bailey tells me that there has to be something that people are not aware of in regards to the disagreement between the two. When I was in the area, I really feel like I was picking up on some things that I want to share on. I was definitely getting that in specific. I felt like there were two men, right? Chance is out walking. He's on his way. He's headed towards Torrington. I actually feel like a couple of men catch up with him. And I think not only do they have a disagreement, I think they actually get into a physical altercation. I feel like things kind of blow out of proportion, and I think Chance sustains a significant injury. I also kept picking up on the fact that I know that there's land here where cows, there would be a pasture, and I know that cows are grazing nearby, and I also know that I have a couple of buildings that are old. To me, they very much feel like they're abandoned, and I feel like, are they like an old shed, an old garage, something like that? An old house, something, whatever it is, it's abandoned. I know that it's old and the walls are old, the doors are old, everything is old in this building. I actually feel like Chance was actually placed inside of this building at one point in time. And then I also know that there are trees, I feel like, lining the west side of this land that are bordering. And I actually feel like Chance was placed under this tree. I also feel like there was a few things that he was wearing that night that actually have been found. For whatever reason, I don't feel like that has really been shared with anybody. Sometimes that happens. Why are people trying to cover up? Or is it that maybe law enforcement or someone can't really disclose this because of whatever reason or looking into it? This kind of thing happens all the time. I don't know. I don't know how often I really personally feel like sharing what I pick up on, because I feel like it could be interpreted as like a personal opinion, but also I'm a medium and sometimes I don't really have to tune in too hard to start picking up on things. And I know that this case is very big too and weighs on a lot of the hearts and minds of people here in Scottsbluff and Gering, Nebraska. So I just wanted to share. I know everybody has their own ideas of what happens, but that's the life of a medium. So that's me. You know, missing persons cases are so much more prevalent than most people even realize. Unless you have a missing loved one, it's like an unknown entity, but it happens all of the time. Just Google your state's missing persons cases. It will blow your mind. They don't get enough attention. It's very sad. Losing someone you love is tough, but not having answers of any kind, closure, being able to have a proper farewell, a resting place for your loved one, it leaves so much unanswered and makes the loss of a loved one so much more difficult. It's truly heartbreaking. With that being said, if anyone has any information on Chance, please contact the Gearing Police Department at 308-436-5088 or at the We Help the Missing tip line at 1-866-660-4025. Remember, tips can remain anonymous. Never underestimate the ability of a tip to make an impact. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me as we've tuned into this heart-wrenching case. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button and subscribe to Lost and Found the Missing for more true crime content. Remember to stay safe and look out for one another. Until next time, Sarah Janik Medium signing off.